Hello, hi. Hi, Priya. Can you hear me?
Hi. Yeah, I can hear you.
Good.
Yeah,
I
so
think.
Aditya has not joined. However, Bhupender is here, so we can.
Sure.
He might have various questions, and you can take it ahead. Yeah, with him.
Okay. Bhupender, just give me 1 second now. I'll just create a form actually. Hey, Bhupender, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, I can.
Good evening. How are you?
Very good evening, sir. I'm good. How do you say?
Good, good. Nice to hear, Bhupender. So maybe a quick background, if you don't mind, quickly, maybe about a minute about yourself.
Yes, sir, sure. My name is Bhupendra Kumar. I'm from
Uh-huh.
Gurgaon. I did my BTech in mechanical engineering and MTech in manufacturing automation in 2015. And I have total 7 years of experience, out of which 4 years as a guest lecturer in a college,
Uh-huh.
and approx 3 years in an automotive industry, manufacturing industry, company named ASK Frasley Friction, and our company product was brake liner.
Okay.
So I worked as a production engineer there,
Mm-hmm.
and few months back I just left my job because I want to prepare for this only. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so right now I'm doing a intern with a company named Groom.
Uh-huh.
They just provide some task, and I try to
Mm-hmm.
deliver it on time. So
Okay.
that's also for now.
Right. That's nice to hear. Very good. That's good. Good. So we can maybe get into the questions directly. Yes, I'm happy to answer any questions that you have today for the session.
Yes, sir. Actually, first of my question is my communication skill. I already asked you
Uh-huh.
earlier session when we have, I think, last weekend.
Uh-huh.
The same again, because I feel my confidence level sometimes sink due to
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the new field or kind of thing. So I try to give some mock tests as well on the prem as well as some of my colleague or friends.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel my confidence level is a bit low at the time of interview. So how can I improve it? Can you provide
See,
some guidance?
yes, sure, sure, Bhupender. So I think I remember the question now actually, but I didn't
Yes.
remember the name. So since there were a few questions, one of the best things, Bhupender, is like generally, we get a little worried when we talk about certain concepts, right? I mean, see, I know you're a pro in automobile and technology and mechanical work, I'm sure, but when it comes to data science, maybe it might be a little new. Programming might be something that you're getting used to or accustomed to. And in those cases, what happens is there is a fright. See, I'm not saying you might not know. You will probably know much better than other people in the class, I'm sure. But the challenge there is that when you yourself feel like inside, like, oh, will I say something wrong? Or will I say a word that probably doesn't make sense in this case? Or use the wrong concept or something like that. So in that case, the best thing to always do, Bhupinder, especially in interviews, is to use examples. And that's what I do during mocks also. I always
Mhm.
advise students that whenever you're talking, let's say somebody tells you, Bhupender, tell me about what is classification, or help me understand how a classification works. Rather than
Mhm.
explaining, okay, logistic regression and support vector machine and how these algorithms do it, take an example. Like maybe you would have done a capstone project on credit risk. Take that as an example and talk about, like, how in a credit risk problem you have to predict, let's say, people who default on a loan or not, or anything. I mean, it could be any problem statement. And then you take that as an example and walk through that example. I'm sure you'll feel far more comfortable talking about an example than a concept. It's not that you don't know the concept, it's just that over a period of time you refine yourself and explain the concepts. But initially, to get that comfort, always good to start with examples and use
Mhm.
that as your major thing in all your interviews. I'm sure you'll find that hugely valuable.
Thank you. Actually, one more thing.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, when I uh, do some mock interview thing, so
Mm-hmm.
my storytelling also sometimes I feel, because yesterday I have a mock interview with Marticus,
Mhm.
and it was approx 10-minute interview.
Mhm.
At that time, I also find my examples and the storytelling is not as far as good. I
Mhm.
need to prepare for it, but let me try and practice. So you can provide a kind of thing where I can prepare or I can read something or see some videos to improve my storytelling and communication.
Videos,
There is
I think
any?
there are on YouTube, a lot of them, like data storytelling in YouTube itself is there.
Okay.
But what I would suggest, Bhupendra, is like before you go for an interview, maybe go through your code or few of your examples that you've done. Those things are a
Mm-hmm.
very good thing. So generally, I always suggest go through the codes that you've done, right? Examples in the past. I'm sure that will be much more easier for you to actually uh, talk about. And that will also give you an idea of things or concepts that you would have actually gone through during the sessions. That'll be one thing. Again, I can't say rehearse answers because that's generally, you rehearse one set of answers, but the question is totally different. So I think the mock is actually a good way by which you kind of get that rehearsal, I would say. So
Mm-hmm.
even if you make mistakes in mocks, don't feel conscious about it. I mean, I know a lot of you, I mean, I've taken mocks and a lot of people feel very concerned that, oh, my mocks have dropped and it's not very great and everything. So don't
Mm-hmm.
get very concerned. I know it is an important thing, but then the fact is use that as an opportunity to like identify where you're making mistakes. I'm sure you'll get feedbacks there where they say, okay, this concept could have been explained better. You could have elaborated a bit more, or you could have talked about this point a little more. So all those feedbacks will be coming to you. So use
Mm-hmm.
that and feel
Yes.
free to maybe in the next mock take a few more minutes preparation or a few more examples and few more situations and then try to take it up. That will be a way to improve your interviews, I feel.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, I want to ask one more thing. Actually, I'm from mechanical background, so I
Hmm.
have overall 7 year of experience, as
Hmm.
I told you earlier.
Hmm.
So, what are the possibilities to get into this job, and the experience will be count or not for Malab? I can be
In fact,
considered as the fresher or experienced in.
not really a
Interview?
fresher, that I can be very sure about because you have 7 years of experience. Unless if it was one or two, maybe yeah, there is a possibility of that. But having said that, see, the best opportunity I say right now is a lot of these automobile companies are doing a lot of data analysis. I think we discussed
Mhm.
this during the session also. Like a lot of these e-mobility, EV vehicles that are coming up and all of those things, they are also doing a lot of those. So typically people from mechanical, automobile, all those kind of backgrounds, perfect time to like, get data analytics skills acquired and then also
Mhm.
work with some of these organizations, more manufacturing oriented organizations to implement it. Maybe you will not be dealing so much with customer data and those kind of things, but more with like, machinery and things like sensors and so many other data, sensory data that's available. So that is an opportunity you should definitely pursue. I think dealing with more mechanical machine aspects. And
Mhm.
you will see that your career will also grow up really well. That's what I feel would be a good opportunity to focus on.
Okay. Actually, it would be better for me if you can suggest me some project from industry if you have some kind of information about it.
Sure, sure. I can check. Maybe I'll probably try to forward to Priya if I do have. But I
Okay.
think a lot of the uh, capstone, if I'm not mistaken, would also, I mean, couple of use cases would cover such kind of, mechanical sensory data also, I think, right? I'm not sure, but I'll definitely check. If I can, I'll try and send it across to Priya. I'll send it to
Okay.
Priya
Okay. Fine.
or
Thank you
Monica.
for that.
I'll send it to
Yes.
either.
Yes. Sure. And actually, one more thing.
Mhm,
My coding skill is like intermediate. As I
mhm,
judge myself. So sometimes I just copy some code from uh, GitHub and or Stack
mhm,
Overflow. I just copy it. So it could
mhm.
be good to copy or just try to write myself only for a particular project or model.
Absolutely fine. Not at all a problem if you ask me. In fact, it's absolutely okay. We do also as well. I mean, even now after 12, 13 years of experience, still I refer to Stack Overflow. I do use other people's GitHub code as well. See, very often you cannot build brick by brick everything from the base, right? I mean, it will eventually require you to use some other people's work as well. So it's also about in an organization how quickly you can turn around projects, and that's where the dependency is on what other people have also done. So that's absolutely not wrong. Over a period of time, as you keep practicing, maybe 5, 6 years down the line, that dependency will reduce. Maybe you'll be dependent only on certain key aspects. You might probably look for help, but otherwise, you would by yourself be able to develop your own models and productionize and deploy and all those things.
Sure. And one more
Yeah,
again
yeah,
and
yeah.
again.
Please, please.
Yeah.
Sure, sure.
Actually, to which I need to focus more, machine learning or deep learning for to get into an industry. Means,
Good question. The answer is both.
okay.
Sadly,
No.
but yeah, both
Yes,
are
actually.
important.
Yes, actually,
No,
but for the just to enter means in these
from an
days.
entry perspective, yes, machine learning is far more important and far more critical. But eventually, yes, I would say having a comfort over both machine learning and deep learning will kind of help you to get opportunities outside in multiple organizations. That's where I would suggest, but try to focus on both of them. But yes, initially, yes, it would be more machine learning that I would suggest you try to get yourself comfortable with.
Okay. Okay. And actually, I have picked 2, 3 models from my previous company. Like they have some kind of problem in their process, so I just try to find the solution with the help of ML. Like we have a production data system when we do some format filling by the operators kind of thing. Though, so I want to prepare a model with the help of OCR. So we just extract the data directly with the format. No need to do data entry on Excel. So we just try to export the data directly and to fill into the SAP ERP. So I'm looking for that. So and one more project I want to prepare on it, which is inventory control on the basis of what kind of order we receive in past. So what could be the demand of the product? So we prepare for make inventory, and we need to manage the space as well for our company. So these seem fine, or do
Absolutely. I think I was about to say it's very good you're doing that actually. In fact, I encourage a lot of people to actually try and see opportunities either within their current company or like you're doing in your past company that you had the opportunity. Look for such opportunities. And that actually you should put it into your resume as well, that you're able to actually, get to do such kind of projects, and that will help you to even use that as a conversation point during some of your discussions. So definitely, yeah, of course, that's a very good thing. In fact, try to see if you can get more projects like that in your current organization or the place you're working.
Yes, actually, one more I am looking that is just a seems typical because our product is brake liner. So I just want to prepare a particular model that can scan the part and provide the description or specification about the part. Means what kind of hole it carry and what drill bit required to drill. Well, the basic information about that. So I'm looking, but at that time I'm not having a particular framework to how can I do this, because I need data for it. So at that time I'm not having that data, but it's in kind of my pipeline project. So I'll do in future. So that's all.
Yeah,
And
sure, definitely take it up. Very good, actually. You got this opportunity. Make sure you take a good advantage of this. It'll definitely help you in your future job searches if you plan to do as well. Yeah.
I don't know. One more thing, I will actually, if I get the opportunity to join an intern or to get a job, so what I need to prefer for the learning purpose, because it's a new industry for me, so I'm not want to struggle there. So if I enter to the company with prepared, so if my experience is counted, so they just provide me some kind of thing where I no need to do some more coding or need to deal with the team or just think,
So
or
coding will definitely be there. That's for sure. So no
yes, yes,
denying that.
but actually my concern is I need to join a intern, so I just learn a lot from there, or a startup company where which I need to focus more for a company, or intern first, or just do a startup company to learn more. But the basic concern is for entering in a company, need to prepare for full, or you just learn with the time?
Some amount of like the technical and technique would be important to keep as a concepts learning. You should have it. But see, their
Mhm.
business, what they're doing, that of course you can only learn once you go in there. So their
Yes,
data,
yes.
what kind of data they have, that you'll get exposed only once you join the company, basically, right? Then only you'll have that understanding or exposure of that information in that case. So my suggestion would be like, if you're choosing whether internship or a big company or whichever startup or whatever it is that you choose to do, have a look at the company, profile it, see what is their future, where they're headed towards, what will be the opportunities to learn, right? You can get into a big organization, but they can only make you do, let's say, some very reporting kind of works using Excel or
Reporting.
something. Then there's no learning at all. But rather, maybe it could be a startup that could allow you to do something really good. So try and talk to people maybe on LinkedIn or somewhere you
LinkedIn.
can, yeah, have a chat, understand what they're doing to get a better understanding in that case. Would be more based on a little bit of research. You'll have to find out what works in that case. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And
Yep.
my last and final question.
Sure, sure, no problem.
So, uh, can you give me your genuine feedback about my communication skill as we
It was
talk
good
for?
actually. In fact, you had mentioned it in the last session. I think I mentioned there also. Like, I didn't actually find anything about the communication as such. I felt it was quite, quite good. I mean, I don't know why you feel that way. Shouldn't actually. Ideally, you should be quite comfortable and confident that it's absolutely not at all an issue.
Okay. So, if anything you want to suggest me to do.
Nothing else, just that if you have that opportunity, as you said about the data, try and explore as much as possible with opportunities in the data within your organization. Use that to actually get more experience in terms of the work so that you can, use that in your resumes as well for sure. So that's one of my major suggestions, I would say, Bhupender. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Thanks. Actually,
Thank
if
you.
there is a no one to join, I have just a project question. Can I ask you from deep learning? I just say, okay.
Not sure. Priya, can we take up project questions or how?
Actually, Himanshu is already on the
Acha,
call. So, Bhupinder, what you can do is just drop me an email and I'll forward it to Sir. So,
Sure,
would that be okay for you?
yes, yes. No issue.
Yeah, I'm so sorry because another person's time
No,
slot
no,
is already
it's okay.
blocked, right?
It's
Yeah,
okay.
just drop me an email, but I'll make sure that I'll resolve it. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you,
Thanks,
Priya.
Bhupender.
Thanks, Avi. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hi, Manshu. Can you hear me?
Yes, hello sir. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm doing great.
Good. Nice to hear. Manshu, maybe can we do a quick 1 minute introduction and background about yourself so
Yes,
that I can.
yes. My name is Himanshu Agrawal. I graduated from National Institute of Foundry and Forge Technology, Ranchi, in Metallurgy and Materials Engineering. And I posted in OCL Iron and Steel Limited, Bhiwadi, where I had worked for 2 years in production department as a shift in charge. And I was responsible for production of metal castings.
Mhm.
And after working for 2 years, I had to leave the company due to my illness, and then 2 years gap. And then I'm currently working in a BPO for 4 months now. So that's all about my brief introduction.
Okay. So about 2.5 years of experience, basically.
2.5
Total
years. Yeah.
2.5. Okay. Okay. Good. Good. Nice to hear. Yes. So how can I help you, Himanshu? I mean, what are the questions that you have?
So the main question is about the placement, uh, things just such as there are different parts in data science like statistics, machine learning, deep learning, artificial intelligence.
Mhm,
So the thing is, I know the things like I pursued the course and learned a lot about data science.
mhm,
So the thing is, I know the statistics part, ML and DL algorithms, how to
mhm,
write codes and how to make a model. Not just that to a extent level, but a basic thing I know.
mhm,
So my question is Ematicus is providing us placement assistance,
mhm,
but there can be a chance, maybe a chance that I'm not selected in the interviews, and so after that I should apply in another companies on my own. So how can companies know that this is a data science aspirant, a good candidate we can hire, like how they can approach? I'm, I mean, what is the right
mhm.
strategy to approach for to get to receive interview calls?
Okay,
So
sure. So one of the things I generally would suggest in this case is like mostly yes, you should get through Himanshu, should not be a concern. But then let's assume in that scenario you don't. Then what I would suggest is like even I mean forget about whether Imatic is placement or not. I would say for now the best suggestion would be to first get your resume like completely sorted. So one thing I always say is like whether you've done capstone projects or hackathons or whatever you've done, take all the codes that you've done, all the models that you've built, put them in a GitHub repository. I think we were talking in that session. So put that in a
okay,
GitHub repository, and then the GitHub profile, make sure you put it in your resume as well. Also give a brief description of these things like a project, basically, right? Project I did, capstone project I did on, let's say, credit risk model or failure prediction or something like that. You would have done some models. Try and put
sure.
those things as well into your resume. Now that will help you to shortlist into interviews. And once you get into interviews, then like, talk about, hackathons and other experiences that you've had. That itself will help you to kind of navigate through some of the interviews and get through the next rounds in that particular case. So generally, given that you have 2.5 years of experience, it's not too much also and not too less also. So it's easy for you to transition into roles that are more in terms of, I wouldn't say fresher, but a bit more than a fresher, basically. So that's my approach, I would say, in this case.
Okay, okay. So in GitHub or in Kaggle also
Kaggle
we can,
also, yes.
yeah,
Analytics Vidya, that is
yeah,
a good.
analytics, yeah, sure. Okay, okay. Thank you. And another question is what part is mostly focused in interviews, like in ML part is mostly focused, or DL or statistics, or even in those part in ML also, what algorithm or something like that. What so I want to know that what part is mostly
The
focused.
focus.
Yeah.
Very difficult to say because sometimes depends on organization to organization. But frankly, see, the deep learning is probably, I wouldn't say it's not asked that much. It is. I mean, so it depends on organizations. If they are, there are very niche organizations who are doing very advanced, elevated stuff, which you can find out through LinkedIn or any of those resources. If you see that there is an extreme amount of discussion or work that they're doing on technical, then of course you need to have a very good understanding of statistical, the machine learning and the deep learning part. Uh, so one thing I would suggest is like look at the job description, what they're saying, right? Like, are they referring to more ML requirement, or are they looking at more generally exploratory data analysis requirement, or is it more like very deep learning and niche automation kind of projects? Look at that, and on the basis of that, I would suggest approaching the interview or the anything, right? Your selection and everything. But generally speaking, I think it's good to have a knowledge of all three, maybe at least if definitely if not in depth, a certain amount of I would say advanced knowledge in statistics and machine learning, but at least an intermediate or beginner level knowledge at least in deep learning definitely helps in that case.
Okay, and both theoretical and practical knowledge should require,
Both,
I
yes,
think.
yes, of
Yeah.
course. Yeah, both will be very important. And try to demonstrate that also during interviews, because when you're able to talk both theoretical as well as practical examples, then it becomes quite evident on how, they can hire
Yeah,
you. And yeah,
and more easy to understand. So what
absolutely.
you're trying to say. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, thank you. And uh, like in coding part, I know only Python language, no other things, other tools other than that. So like some extra tools which can help in interviews, yeah, or some companies can demand that you should know about this.
I think from a programming perspective, Python is more than enough, Himanshu, so there's no challenge there. But if you are really interested to learn additionally, I was mentioning this, like try and see if you can learn cloud. Again, cloud, not everything, just the machine learning part of cloud, which is anyways, I think by default, you can pick it up from any online resources. There are so many of them. So, you don't need to necessarily do anything specific. So that could be one additional thing. It can only add weight to your resume. So maybe you can try that out and see.
Okay, and even SQL is also required.
SQL, of course, yes, yes, no denying that SQL is absolutely important. In fact, SQL you require to have a strong skills on SQL for sure. Yeah.
Okay, okay, and one very
Uh-huh.
I mean, in layman terms, a very simple question
Uh-huh.
that Emerticus is providing us assistance, placement assistance.
Mhm.
So, uh, I mean, will there be chance of selecting, or we can get a job in that placement assistance?
Definitely, I think, I mean, I will let the placement lead actually talk about it. But for sure, yes. I mean, as far as I know from Chennai part of it, I know there are a lot of people who got placed who generally connect on LinkedIn also and tell me what work they're doing and everything. So as a batch, a lot of people get placed, so that's not a concern. But I would suggest have a talk with the placement coordinator. Sorry, not the placement lead, placement coordinator. Talk to them what kind of organizations you're looking at, and try and understand what are the requirements and all those things. Have a conversation. I think you guys are almost towards the end of your course, is that correct?
Yes, yes, yeah,
Yeah, so yeah, I would suggest have a chat with them. She or he, I don't know who it is in Gurgaon, but I'm sure they will be able to like guide you much better, like how to get through interviews, like the communication aspect and maybe some of the technicals. Don't worry, anyways, you would have just go through all the concepts you've learned, revise them, practice a few if you can. So those are key elements that can help you to clear. So that I think should be enough to help you clear through the next rounds of interview.
yes, sure. Okay, one last question.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
sure.
I apply for any job, so is startups are better or a well settled MNC to start a career?
That's a very difficult question. Uh, See, I say it this way, right? So startups, definitely the learning is unbeatable, right? I mean, there is nothing like it. But unfortunately, the challenge is that startups are very unpredictable. So what they do today, what they're going to do tomorrow, we don't know. But wherever it
Yes,
is, I think the learning is a bit dynamic. So that's one thing. In larger firms, yes, there is a lot of consistency. There is no such issues there. You'll have consistency, but you're like going to be one part of a larger thing that is there. So the amount of learning sometimes gets a bit constrained, but then there is a lot of salary and all those aspects are quite good in a larger organization. So you will have to make a decision on the basis of, let's say, what is it that you prioritize? Learning, for example. Then the first 2 years you can spend some time in a startup, learn, and pick yourself up there. Maybe it will be tough, but then after 2 years, once you have a very solid learning, you can approach a larger organization and work there. Or if you're looking at more monetarily aspect, then start with a bigger organization, but then try to get involved into multiple projects within a bigger organization to learn. But generally speaking, yes, I would say that the learning is bigger in or better in startups. But again, that preference comes in. You will have to take a call on the basis of your needs and what is it that you want to achieve, and then take a call on that. Hello. Can you hear me, Himanshu? Hello. Priya, can you hear me? Hello.
Yes, I guess he is facing some network issues. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, maybe we can just drop a text.
Sure, no problem. You're working on a Sunday also, Priya?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. When is your weekly off then?
just a minute. I'm getting a call from him, I guess. One
Okay.
second, please. Yeah, he is facing some internet issues, maybe power cut.
Okay, no problem. So the next
Okay.
person is joining in. Till what time today
Yeah,
we have Priya? Like,
see, according to me, I think barely 10 to 11 people will join in. Okay,
okay.
so we can expect that we will be getting done around 6:30 today.
Okay. No problem. Sure.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
just call Seven and just give me
Yeah.
a minute.
I'll also just be right back. Huh? Just a minute.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay.
Yeah, he is joining in a minute.
Hi, sir. Sorry for the delay. I was in a meeting.
No problem. Absolutely not an issue. Yes. How are you doing, Shanmugam? Surrounded, right? Sorry.
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Good. Nice here as well. Yes. Surrounded, maybe a quick intro about yourself. Maybe a minute intro.
Sure. I'm working in pitches for the past 2 years, and I've been working in a support team. Basically,
Where are you working? Sorry, I'm sorry.
PCS.
PCS. Okay, okay, okay. Uh-huh.
So I'm in a support project in which I have to handle the jobs which transfer the data from one servers to another servers, and which transfers, and we will also have some experience on SQL, which I'll be taking care of to load the data and migrate it from one end to another end. So I'll be using the JCL commands and in mainframe and the BMC controller to monitor the tools. So that's my profile right now, and I also have some SQL knowledges and have a good experience with Amazon AWS web service.
Ah, that's very nice. That's good to hear. Good, good. Nice. Yes, so how can I help you, Saravnan? How any questions that you have that I can help you?
Yes, sir. Okay, I have a quick question.
Mm-hmm.
You're building an decision tree model.
Mm-hmm.
Why we have to go to decision random forest instead of decision tree, other than efficient model, bringing out the accuracy? Any idea? Can you give?
So a lot of it is dependent on the complexity of the data, right? So how, when I say complexity, how nonlinear or what degree of nonlinearity the data itself has, right? So when I define that, I'm looking at it in terms of variations and all of those things, right? So how many categorical variables, how many continuous variables, all those things. Now, as the number of variables increases or as the data increases, a single decision tree is not very capable of handling that complex a data. So that's one of the reasons why we have multiple decision trees. But if you have to run multiple model.fits, it's going to be a time consuming problem.
Yeah.
So that's where the random forest actually helps you. So that's why, on a smaller data, we avoid using random forest, because on a smaller data, it's an overkill and it will overfit the model. And that's where the suggestion is always to go with the random forest, especially on a larger data. And that's where it scores over decision trees as such.
Okay. So if you're having going to run a decision tree, just imagine you're having you're going to run a random forest. You're having 100 columns, and you're having defining 10 trees. So how will you have to improve the accuracy? What can be done
in the
because
decision tree?
Yeah, in random forest. This is a question I got from an interview, so I needed an answer.
So if you want to improve the accuracy, one is, yes, the number of trees you can increase for sure. There are a few key parameters that are there, right? I can't recall all of them, but then the depth of the tree, for example, you can control that. Those are the few important. So basically, in a random forest, the only way to improve the accuracy is tune the hyperparameters. That's the best solution that would be
that's
there.
what I told, to improve the use the hyperparameter tuning and everything.
Yeah. Maybe you can list out a couple of those hyperparameters, if not all, 2 or 3 of them, which are key. Especially the number of estimators is one of the best examples.
Yeah, they have given me a typical solution. Like you should have only 10 trees. You're having 100 columns. You have to improve the accuracy. Should you add the trees or less the number of trees? I'd say we have to add the trees, because considering the amount of variables, we have to add the trees to running through more number of features to back the more number of features like that.
Correct. That should be the right answer. Did they give any feedback on that?
They didn't.
Not yet. Okay, no problem. That's okay. But yeah, that's the right answer. I don't see there is anything wrong in that. Yeah.
Yes. Anyway, they didn't give me the go. And sir, and I also need some insights on deployment of the models into production. So from my understanding is, we'll be data engineers will be giving the data scientists will be processing the statistical methods, and we can be developing a machine learning models. From that, we'll be generating a pickle file. After that, with that, we have to deploy the model into production. So for the live data, we can be using PySpark itself, right? We can make the code Python into PySpark, right? Am I wrong?
Yeah, that's correct. That is correct.
So this is what my I have quite some exposure to ETL, because in our project there are some data scientist team. They'll be using the ETL jobs. So I'm also handling one of the ETL applications. So I have got through some. So they are using some JCL commands for ETLs rather than Python. So I thought, so for ETL applications, I prefer PySpark. Is that good answer? Because that's what I'm planning to
Yes,
give.
absolutely. PySpark or Databricks, any of them is a really good tool to work with. If you have
Yeah,
access to Databricks also, because
yeah,
that'll be more parallel processing.
yeah.
Uh,
I have tried Databricks. It was good,
uh-huh.
but it was but I was trying more of a PySpark in our
Yeah,
lab itself. Because, but I
yeah.
have learned PySpark for machine learning model building, but I had to get into more on ETL applications because yes, big data engineering is the most uh, uh, most available, most preferred jobs right now.
Yeah, yeah,
Everyone,
absolutely.
look, we are looking like there will be big data engineer recruitment. I have hands-on experience on AWS, and I had some PySpark knowledge also. That might help me out. But I need to get into more on into Azure and ETL tasks. So you might you know anything, any documents would help me out to get into more ETLs.
I think even the information that's available in either these places, right, like AWS or Azure itself, if you go to their documentations itself, I think more than enough is there because they have themselves detailed all this information. So I would suggest like use that itself. That itself would be very rich source of information, in my opinion.
Yes, sir. I have gone through the AWS Lambdas and
Mm.
EC2 instance, and I also have some hands-on experience. Will that be a additional point for me,
Of
or should
course, yes, yes.
should
No
I
deny.
move on to Azure, or like I should keep on myself to AWS? That's what I'm thinking of.
See, cloud as such, it's like a apple to apple. They will have the same components, only the names will be very different, right? That's the only changes that will be there eventually between AWS, Azure, or GCP, any of these platforms. So as such, no, you don't need to. I mean, if today you know AWS well, I'm sure you can move to Azure also equally well, and there should be no challenges in that case. Try to make yourself comfortable with one. And then if in the future you get an opportunity where you can move into something else also, then use that as an opportunity to shift to a job opportunity related to maybe Azure or something else, basically.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. But
Okay.
one is good enough. Having one good cloud knowledge itself is more than enough. I think that itself many people don't have actually nowadays, data scientists. I think that you have is a good advantage for you.
Yeah, I've been going on to AWS SageMaker. I have tried building models, but it cost me like 100, 200 rupees. My
Yeah,
own. I
that you have to
just
be a bit
accidentally
careful.
slept. Yeah, I accidentally slept without closing terminating the session, so it costed me more. I didn't even thought that
That's okay.
it would been closed by 40 rupees itself, but I didn't notice it gone to 200 rupees. I was running a complex XGBoost model inbuilt from SageMaker. So I
Mhm.
think that costed me more. And also been some hands-on on Glue and data migration system and everything. I have some middle idea, so I'm more on focusing on AWS. So that's what blinding me. So even I got an offer already.
Mhm.
So,
From where?
Fractal Analytics.
Oh, very nice. That's good. Congratulations.
Yeah,
So when are
thank you.
you joining? When do you have to join?
It's Jan.
Jan. Okay. Okay. Cool. Cool.
So I thought I thought I could give any counter offers. So I've been planning after that.
Oh, okay.
They even requested to give me a counter offer if you wish, like that. So I thought even they wanted it means I can give it. So I've been trying. After that, I couldn't get any opportunities than that.
Okay. 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 Cool. Cool.
Uh,
Cool. No, I mean
that's it.
that I think take a call. I mean, what based on like salary expectations and all those things, you can probably take a call on that. I would say.
No, they just fixed it. This is your salary. If you want, you can get an
Okay.
counter
Okay.
offer like that. They told.
Okay. That's cool. That's good to hear. It's a nice company. The Fractal is really definitely one of the top analytics companies. So I'm sure take a
Even they
call.
are providing training for first 6 weeks.
Ah, that's good.
So that's why I wanted to land it there. I've been trying so hard for past 2 months and I cleared it. Yeah, I tried like 4 attempts. So
Not an
for
issue.
data engineer, I was so much into, but I lack skills at SQL. So with only basics of SQL knowledge, I was able to get into that. Only of they were just asking me some basic analytical questions. That's it. Yes, I was able to get in, but in Tiger Analytics, that's what I have got a question for the decision tree.
Okay. But have they got back yet, Tiger Analytics, or
No,
no?
no, I haven't paid that.
Okay. No, wait for it. Let's see what they say.
No, I haven't
The
paid that.
answer. Okay.
They
Yeah.
immediately told it.
Okay.
So, one more thing, you're going to build a machine learning model means, will you be, for just testing purpose, will be having a scikit-learn model, develop a scikit-learn model for our, from our data science point of view, will be importing a scikit-learn model and will be using the, sorry. So we'll be using the scikit-learn model and we'll be generating the predictions and usually done the testings. But what in case of full level deployment model, we have to, we will be able to import the scikit-learn or we have to write the class up by ourselves?
No, no, no. You can import scikit-learn.
While
Almost all
deploying.
environments. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
In whichever the virtual server or whatever you've created, virtual machine, make sure that the instance of scikit-learn is there. That's about it. Or you can use that directly to work.
I got placement opportunity from Tensor IoT, a company, startup.
Okay.
So they asked me, I had to be well in creating my own instances of algorithm. So I thought, I said no.
Okay. No, I don't think that's a totally redundant use of work, I think. Why would we use when we have already the libraries to do it?
Okay, so that's it from my end.
Sure, no problem. Good. Nice to meet you, Saravanan, and congratulations. All the very best for
Yeah,
your
I would
role.
like to talk with you more, but having a call and 2 minutes they're pinging me. I'm
No
working
problem.
currently right now. So I'll be. Can you just tell me your LinkedIn so I can reach out to you there? And,
You can search for Arul Francis, and
okay.
yeah, that itself you can look
Organization.
Shell.
That, Shell. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, sir. I also
Thank
have
you.
applied till my getting shortlisted.
Okay, okay, okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Sorry,
Saravanan. Sure.
I would
No
like to
problem.
talk more, but I'm getting
No.
sorry.
Sure, sure. Sure. Yep.
Hello. Hi, everyone.
Hi, Satish. How are you?
Good. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you. Thanks for asking. Satish, we'll begin with maybe a quick 1-minute intro about yourself.
Sure, definitely.
Yeah.
As you know, my name is Satish. Been with one of the MNC for more than 12 years now. I spent completely into healthcare analytics, predominantly on the data analysis portion. So I'm a base SAS and advanced SAS by profession, and spent like more than 5 years in that particular programming language. The last 7 years, I've been spending time on data analysis using Tableau and Power BI. The reason I picked up this course is to learn towards data science, advanced analytics. I've been part of a data science team just to provide the domain expertise of it, right? But not into model building and everything. This has really improved my skills on ML, machine learning specifically, because that is where we spent a lot of time in my current job. Deep learning, I'll need to still work on. It is, it was going beyond my head, but I'll need to revisit the videos and then bring them up to the speed. But yes, machine learning, definitely. In the last 2-3 months, I've revisited all the models which we have built. I have now bit of understanding on what we did in the last 5 years, because I was more on the data analysis and then giving domain solutions and on the visualization, right? But not on the data side. So yeah, this course has given me a platform to learn for sure and understand what we have been doing in the last 5-6 years.
It's very nice to hear and interesting, Satish. Good. In fact, you have a very strong experience, 12 years. I think for you, the transition must be absolutely effortless to move to a data science.
Yeah.
Good. So how can I help you, Satish? Any questions, anything that I can answer?
Yes, definitely. So, I have recently, given my resignation in my current organization, um, I'm planning to move into banking and finance sector. Okay. Uh, since I have spent like a lot of time in healthcare, in the last two, I want to pick up new domain, working on new data, picking up new challenges and all. So that's the reason in my current organization 2 years back I have kind of picked up finance and accounting space. That is into healthcare, but doesn't need an expertise. But that is into more on looking at invoices, looking at aging, right? So such kind of analysis, right? That is what I kind of interested into moving into different accounts. So basis your expertise, is it good idea to shift into different domains? Working on it, because look, being in an organization, which is okay to get transition from one domain to other, you will get some kind of help. But coming out of an organization and then joining new organization with a new domain skill, what is your suggestion? Is that a right move, or should I just look at to healthcare being my space? Should I just look into that space and then build upon it? Any suggestions would help.
No, I think I would. I mean, if you ask me, it's bit preference actually. Like some people who are into a particular industry want to stick to that or a function, let's say marketing analytics or operations analytics likewise. But I have a preference that I generally don't stick to any industry. I like to actually explore.
Right.
And that's where actually I didn't give my background, but briefly I have like 13 years of experience all in data science, and same kind of a situation where I've kind of worked across everything, right? Like retail, banking, insurance also, and now I'm working in oil and gas kind of thing. So I've never specialized in any industry as such, and that is because I wanted to keep it generic, that I want to focus only on the data part of it. So but I feel though there will be a specialization that might have to happen in like maybe a future time, because now earlier, remember, there were not that many data science resources, so people could actually I mean, I could work in, let's say today, into finance related data science projects. I could tomorrow work into marketing, and someday else I could work for retail, and different banking, finance, everything I could work. But now there are not quite enough number of people. I mean, there is still shortage, but then at least there is a certain amount much better than what it was at least 10 years back, that now there is that specialization that is coming in. So eventually I think, yes, it might require me to specialize. But if you feel like, yeah, I've spent a lot of time in healthcare and I want to move, because sometimes that data also becomes overboard, and you get bored of that. So from that angle, yes, I think this is a good opportunity to make that shift, and then find out what actually helps you to keep you like passionate about it, right? Like, I mean, there could be some data that keeps you passionate and you feel like, yeah, I want to continue in this space. So it's absolutely fine. Nothing wrong in that, as long as you have the right technique and technical skills as required.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. That's for that. That is what I was actually looking for. I'm not sure because whether to stick, because people say even I believe domain is very important. I don't know, how I will be doing in the new organization, but yeah, fingers crossed. I'm preparing myself also, because technically I'm okay, because of which I could able to clear the interviews and all, predominantly on the data science, machine learning, not DL, and the analytics portion of it, and also Python as a skill set. That is one thing which they're looking for, and the visualization a little bit. Right now, a lot of companies are actually asking full stack, full stack in the sense, they will need to know data analysis, they will need to know data science, visualization, programming. That is how industries have been moving towards, right? Previously, it was not the case. I'm not sure if you agree with me, but previously there was a specific data science group, there was a specific data visualization group, and then coders group, and then we form a pod and then create project outcomes out of it. Right now, industries are looking at people having multiple skills, and then you never know in a particular project which skill would pick up, right? So that is also one thing which I have observed. So thought of sharing, but
no, that is totally agreed. Yeah. I mean, I think that specialization might, I feel, eventually come in. I think even visualization engineering, data scientists, and within industry also might come. but somehow I don't know how the future goes. It changes so quickly, Satish, with
Right.
technology changing every day.
Yeah, exactly.
I also started my career with SAS, by the way. I wanted
Oh,
to
is
tell you
it?
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
But
nice.
I'm not certified. I was just a base SAS certified programmer. I didn't
Uh-huh.
do any advanced SAS certification.
Yeah.
Because by the time, I'll tell you the background, right? When I was 2007, when I was getting myself SAS certified, that time SAS was very much in demand. 2008, 9. That
Exactly.
was like
Yeah.
very peak time. But by the time I came to 2012, I was thinking I'll do SAS certification, but then by then Python had already come, and
Yeah,
I joined
exactly.
also an organization where Python was used extensively. So I
Mhm.
kind of forgot SAS after like 2013,
Yeah,
14.
exactly.
But now I do. I mean, it's not like I forgot, but now I don't
Mhm.
get a chance to
Yeah,
practice SAS.
exactly. Because most of
Uh-huh.
organization have already started that transition. We have been working on a lot of migration work from SAS to Python, SAS to R. In fact, 2-3 years back now, I think people are looking at more Python because it has got a lot of other preferences.
Yes.
So when I was transitioning from SAS to Python, I was like, oh, this is my core coding programming language. How can I leave and all? But it we all heard about Nokia story, right? If you don't
Yeah.
adopt new technologies, you will be left behind. So
Exactly. No, that is totally, that's the thing. In fact, that's why mine was more of a luck thing, I would say, not necessarily based on, natural transition. I was forced to, because I joined a startup where they couldn't, of course, afford SaaS.
okay,
They
okay.
could only do with Python as an open source, and also they had other applications which were built on PHP and so many other things that were there. So it had
Right.
to be naturally, I had to use Python in that case. But yeah, that's
What
where
do
I
you
feel
think,
sometimes it's
Karul?
difficult. Yeah,
Oh,
sorry.
sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry to
no,
stop you.
no worries, no worries. Please go ahead.
No, I had a question. So basically, since we are talking, how do you see the market? Because the right opportunity which I have is on machine learning. Uh, do you think the future is DL, and then I should ideally look at opportunities using DL? Because I don't know
Yes,
between these two,
eventually.
how the market is going. Because and you never know. In 2 years, I don't know. There may be not many projects in ML, but you have a larger scope and visibility. Should I look for opportunities in DL now so that I'll be in a better position 1 year, 2 years
Yes, in
down the
fact,
line?
I
Or
mean, mostly a lot of organizations are now collecting unstructured data, right? Like text
Mhm,
and images and so many other things that are being collected. So
mhm,
yeah, that looks like a strong case. I mean, eventually, a lot of the AI related products and everything that is being developed will require a lot of strong deep learning knowledge.
mhm,
I think that could be one you can start, because then you can become an expert by the time like next
mhm,
1 year or
mhm.
so, and then
Okay.
you are more focused on projects that are related to deep learning than maybe the machine learning ones, because
Right.
machine learning, of course, it's you would be now in a comfort zone, but then with
Correct.
deep learning, there will not be enough people, let's say 1-2 years down the line, where I think
Right.
there will be a lot more opportunities that you can use it for. That's what
Great.
I feel.
Sure. Sure.
But again,
I'll
the
start.
problem is like predictions is sometimes like, you don't know
I
when
know.
new technologies, when what changes
Right.
every time. That's
Yeah. Absolutely.
anything. Yeah. Good. Any
Sure.
other questions, Satish, that I can help you with? Anything else?
Yeah, so predominantly I thought of asking the same two, one DL between DL and ML and
Mhm.
the domain change. So that is one, the two questions which I really wanted to know. So thank you so much for your time,
No
Arlo.
problem.
So that
Anytime,
really
anytime.
helped. I'll
Feel
certainly
free to
look
reach
at
out.
some more
Yeah.
opportunities and then see what is better. So
Sure, absolutely. Not a problem. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Just drop maybe a mail to Monica or Priya also.
sure, sure,
I'm
definitely.
happy to connect if anything is required. Yeah.
Absolutely. Sure.
Take care. Yeah.
Yeah,
Bye,
thank
Satish.
you. Nice talking to you. Thanks
Same
for your
here.
time.
Bye bye. Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Hi, Swati. Can you hear me?
Hi, yes, I can hear you. Yes,
How are you?
I'm fine. You say?
I'm doing good. Thank you. Thanks for asking. Good. Swati, maybe a quick minute introduction about yourself, maybe a background.
Yeah. Yeah, like with respect to the job, I'm presently working with WNS as a senior associate in research and analytics.
Mm-hmm.
So, like here, the work which is there it is related to analytics, but I won't say the full-fledged analytics part is there. The most of the work is related to VBA and the Excel portion out here, where they have their own software, and we have to check onto the redundant data and make the analysis on the basis of that, depending on the client's requirement. However, like I haven't yet worked with the project related to deep learning, or you can say machine learning, to be very precise. So this is a brief about me.
All right. That's nice to hear. Good. Good. You're already working at least in some amount of analytics. That's nice to hear. And how can I help you with the questions that you have?
Uh, First of all, sir, I want to know that like this matrix is like they promised us about the guaranteed placements. So in that case, I would like to know that where are the which are the firms which would be providing the good opportunities in analytics if I'm talking with respect to Gurgaon region, like Delhi NCR region.
That's Swati. I would let the placement coordinator help because I'm also not sure about how it works. Because in Chennai, I know the placements are very different. Likewise in Bangalore or in Mumbai as well. I mean, what organizations come, I also have no idea about it. And it's been like about
Okay.
3 or 4 years back since I was talking to somebody in placements. But have a
Mhm.
chat with the placement
Okay.
coordinator. Maybe just talk to them and see. They'll be able to give you more details about the kind of
I
organizations
get
that
that.
come and all of those
I get.
things. Yeah.
And one more thing, also,
Mm.
what do you suggest? Like, what would be, better? A startup or an MNC would be better for this thing.
And that's a good
For
one,
more
but a very
exposure.
tough question. Tough question. But the thing is, yeah, as exposure, as you mentioned, right, which is more learning, I say always startups. That is where you'll get that opportunity to learn more things. Larger organizations, like you yourself mentioned, right, in WNS, the challenge is like, you're doing an analysis just based on client requirements. Maybe the
Yeah,
client has some really
exactly.
advanced machine learning projects, or we don't know, but they probably don't give you that project. So that's one challenge with larger organizations. So if you think about like opportunity to learn, I would suggest then in that case, looking at startups, that would be a better place to actually
Yeah, and
try.
more than that, like since I'm there with WNS, and
Mhm.
obviously it's, I won't say a very big organization, but then still it is fine
Yes, it is quite
organization.
big.
So good,
Yes.
it's quite a fine organization, and that is the thing which even I have noticed that with respect to the opportunities and exposure, if I talk about, I feel that they're comparatively less.
Hmm.
Like because for everything they have their own departments, whereas in case of the startup, it's something like okay, everything you have to do at your own level, so it gives you much more exposure. So
Correct.
in that
No, but
case,
then
yeah.
also with startups, no, if you're looking at joining any startup, make sure you have a, bit of due diligence done. Just check if, these organizations are good also, that, they are viable
Exactly, that is also
financially and all those
important.
things.
Yeah, because if I talk about like my present this thing,
Mm,
present job profile also, whatever even I was expecting, more of into machine learning and that. That bit, but I am not getting that much.
mm,
So that becomes a very important thing to know about the entire job description about it,
mm.
even if you're joining some startup, because they mention a lot of thing in the JD and all, but once you go over there, the things
They
are,
don't decide.
yeah, the things are actually very different, you can say, than what you expected. So it's
Totally agree.
something, yeah, so it
Talk to
becomes.
people on LinkedIn, maybe with those or even have a conversation with, you see external, like Glassdoor or something,
Yeah,
just have a look at it. But
exactly.
generally, I would suggest one of the most important things would be always just ensure that you don't get, I mean, startups definitely learning is great, but the risk of should not get into a startup and then feel like, oh, the
I
work is
get
not
that.
good
I
or
get that. I get that. Because that is something, I guess it's not only about startup, but then this is something which we, in general,
in
most
company.
of the
Okay.
people, most of the people in the company space, and that leads to job dissatisfaction,
Correct.
And then, so most of us, we just are there in that zone only. Ki, jo chahiye. And then when we talk to others are like, okay, you won't get job satisfaction everywhere. And then I'm like, dude, थोड़ा बहुत तो वैसा होना चाहिए ना, ऐसा थोड़ी ना चलेगा.
No,
So,
totally agree that one.
yeah.
Yeah, because I've had
Yeah.
experience, where I have been into a
Mhm.
startup. I actually, the same question that you asked, I had that same thought, and
Mhm.
about whether I should take up startups or big organizations, and I took a risk actually. I actually joined a
Mhm.
startup, and
Mhm.
unfortunately, I actually quit the company in 1 year also, because like
Oh,
initially
yeah.
they had like data science, then they went into data engineering, and then they wanted to do something else, and 2-3 different things they wanted to do.
I get that.
And that point came where I said, no, I'm not continuing. I can't do such kind of thing. That's when I decided I'll join a large organization. Maybe I'll do a
Mhm.
small work, but at least I'll do consistently good work. Not
हाँ वही that is also very, that is I guess the most important thing ना, मतलब आपके पास एक चीज की स्पेशलाइजेशन नहीं है, आप बहुत सारी चीज थोड़ी थोड़ी करके कर रहे हो, doesn't make sense then. वही
at least
तो वो
one
तो है.
thing you should do.
Yeah, exactly. ठीक है, so I just had this thing in mind. I just hope that the articles bring some good things to us.
Sure. Yeah, I think Priya has also messaged. I think the placement coordinator will get in touch with you to just help
Yeah,
you out in terms of that.
yeah.
So no worries on that.
Okay. Yeah, sure, sir. So I just had this bit. Thank you, sir. Thank
Cool,
you.
no problem. Nice talking to you, Swati. Reach out if you have any questions. Ask Priya or Monica.
Yeah, sure,
Happy
sure,
to
sure,
answer any further
sure.
questions you have. Yeah. Thank
Yeah,
you.
sure.
Take care.
Thank you. Take care. Thank you.
Hi,
Hi, Smita. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you.
Good. Nice to hear, Smita. Um, can we have a maybe quick introduction, 1 minute about yourself, your background?
Okay. So I have 5.5 years of experience in programming. I have worked on Angular, JS, Java, and Concept Web. And all the projects I've worked on is on CRM itself. Currently, I'm on my maternity break. I'm not working since 2.5 years. So in meanwhile, I thought, okay, this is a good time and opportunity for me to learn some new technology. And since I was interested in data science, so I thought I'll take up this course.
Okay, that's nice to hear. Good. You have a good programming experience with Java, Angular, which is actually much more hotter sometimes, I feel, than data science in certain places. More opportunities that end up coming for Angular is front end, right?
Yeah, front end.
Angular is front end. So you're technically a full stack, isn't it? No?
Not really. In my first company, I was working on Java and JavaScript.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, not I won't say that it was like full stack. I was not doing everything.
That's
But
right.
yeah, and my second company, my domain got changed. They hired me for Java. They gave me something called Concept Web, which is Ericsson's core product. So I had to
Okay.
learn that program. I have to learn that language. So and then with that, for the front end, they used to do all the designing in Angular JS. So I had to learn Angular JS.
Oh, that's nice to hear. Good. Very nice. So how can I help you today, Smita? Any questions that I can help you with, doubts, clarifications that I can
Yeah,
guide
I
you?
want to upskill my
Mm-hmm.
this one in data science, machine learning, and everything. So, what is the right way, and how do I keep myself updated with the latest news about AI, ML, and all?
Yes, sure. So I think anyways, you're getting yourself updated, I think, through the course. That is one important aspect. In
Mhm.
terms of updates, I will tell you what I do generally to keep myself updated. I'm usually signed up on Kaggle. So that is one of the first things, at least with respect to data. So
Mhm.
diversity of data and working with that, that is one way. And also
Mhm.
how people have looked at competitions in Kaggle and try to solve it, right, with the right
Mhm.
technique and everything. So that's
Yep.
one of my biggest sources. And then analytics Vidya is again another source of thing that I use. The third is there is a forum now very recently, about a couple of years back, it came in, which is called as Towards Data Science. Not sure if you heard it. You can
Yeah, I've heard
actually,
it.
yeah, you can put your email ID, sign up. They actually send a weekly digest kind of a thing, which says what are the new things that have happened and all those things. So I keep a track of these three different forums for sure. There's also another thing called as KD Nuggets. So all these things. So there are multiple forums. I mean, at least 5 years back, there were one or two forums. Nowadays, there are like at least 10, 15 forums that are actually there. These are the best places you'll get to know what's happening new in
Mhm.
terms of, keeping yourself updated. But if you want to be completely technically updated about new problems, new statements, I think Kaggle is the best place where you will get new problems, new data, new kind of solutions, new libraries people have used. Everything is available there. So I
Mhm.
get myself like, if I want to update, let's say, bit more of my deep learning or anything, I look for problem statements or data on Kaggle and
Mhm.
then try to solve on that basically. Yeah.
Okay. And how do I upskill myself, like in terms of programming and in terms of theory as well?
See, for you, I think it's easy. No, I mean, I feel for you, programming would pretty much become easily in terms of the next thing in Python. See, you have now a good understanding of the data science part of it.
Mhm.
You, of course, do know the front end part, at least. I'm sure you're quite comfortable with Angular part. The other aspect is now I know Python is not as rich as JS or any of the other thing, but there are certain key, you can say, frameworks within Python as well. Maybe try and explore and see how you can do that. Why I'm saying it is purely because see, Python is one thing that is end to end, right? Everything can be done, everything from back end, front end, middle engines, or anything you can build across it. So maybe trying to get yourself more comfortable with Python,
Mhm.
exploring more things in Python, so that tomorrow, let's say there's a product development happening in your organization, or if you choose to yourself, right? I mean, you choose to become an entrepreneur, you want to start up. So if you're
Mhm.
trying to build your own product, in that case, I can build a product very effectively, front end being something on Python, in the middle, back end, I can build it with a nice strong database and everything. So
Mhm.
what I basically want to say, see, from a product perspective, every product that I look at, one of the core things of the product is the front end and the middle end. The front end, you're very comfortable. You know Angular very well, which is quite good. And you know the middle now in terms of like logics and everything, through Python and data science. And backend, I'm sure, whether it's MongoDB or whatever, SQLDB, whichever, I'm sure you'll pick that up also without much difficulty. If you can like make yourself a product specialist or an architect, somebody with that end-to-end experience, there is nothing like it. I mean, the amount of money that people make because of product knowledge or architectural knowledge about end-to-end from front end all the way to the back end, they make a lot of money on that. So if you want to, yes, of course, the data science skills you can continue to improve, but try to see how you can orchestrate an entire product from the front end to the back end everywhere effectively, so that you can be an architect kind of a role, and that will definitely pay a lot of money.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what are the differences? Like I hear a lot of job roles like data engineer and data analytics engineer. So these are all like same with different names or they differ?
Bit of same. Like the data engineering is more of data ingestion in the backend, like how do you ingest the data, APIs, external, internal data, a lot of ETL processes involved in it.
Mhm.
The data science part of it is more of the modeling aspects, right? So that's where the difference comes in. So yes, that's the major difference that exists between data scientists and data engineers as such. I mean, terminologies might change: data analytics engineer, data science engineer. I don't know. There are some new terms that people are now making every day. But at least from the net part of it, the base, data engineers more focused on data ingestion,
Mhm.
data scientists more focused on the modeling and outcomes and predictions and everything. That would be the main focus. That
Mhm.
would be there. Yeah.
And
Mhm.
if at all I want to get into an industry, now there are like many industries. There is e-com, and then
Mhm.
there is logistics, and then there is finance. So which one would be a good opportunity for me?
Um, Depends on what you're really passionate about. I mean, if it's, let's say, retail, for example, you're really passionate about, take that as a industry because, see, the more you're passionate, the more you would like to explore the data as well.
Mhm.
Let's say, for example, now I'm somebody who's very passionate about e-commerce. I'm surely going to be very interested to see what kind of data people have in an e-commerce site and all of those things. So I would suggest look at it from that angle, what you're really interested in. And I'm sure, if you look at it from that side, you'll have you'll be able to pick up more knowledge from that data and do more analysis and all those things.
Mhm.
So, is there a particular industry you're very passionate about?
I am interested in finances, but
Finance,
I
okay.
I have no knowledge about it, no much knowledge about it.
That's okay, not a problem. I mean, you have 5 years of experience, so it's not like it's too high, neither is it too low. You're just in the right time where you can, switch and learn about finance as well. So maybe in the future, if you're looking to create finance products, I'm sure that will also be a very good opportunity for you, basically.
And since I'm having this gap and like I'm a new mom now,
Hmm.
so will it be a problem for me to get opportunities with people?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I think more than ever before, I think now there's a lot of encouragement, especially mothers who've taken a break. And this is not at all an issue at all. I mean, every mother takes a break. So that should not even come in your mind that, oh, will there be like less opportunities because of, I took a break. In fact, it's all appreciated. In my current organization, they actually encourage mothers who have actually taken a break and not taken a break. I would not even call it a break. I mean, it's not a break actually, right? Moms who have actually uh, left in between and come back later after giving birth. So those are also encouraged a lot. So a lot of organizations are encouraging that. So don't worry about it at all.
And because of the break, will it affect my salary also?
No, no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Definitely not.
So, would you say that if my skills are good enough, then I would get a good package despite the break or like the
Of
gap I
course.
have?
Yes, I mean, in fact, right now it's a very hot market, especially with people who are like looking for opportunities. Sure,
Mhm.
you'll be able to get a really good offer, definitely much better than what you've already been drawing maybe before you went on a maternity break, basically. Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
It's quite a hot market right now, especially technology skills.
Mhm.
That's why I was saying, right? And you said Angular, I was like, oh, there is like more money in Angular nowadays sometimes than there is actually money in data science in certain places. But I mean, it's not like very big difference. It's almost the same. But then I'm just saying that it's a hot market for technology people, actually.
Yeah. Actually, I had issues before because I have 3 years of experience in Java and then like 2.5 years experience in Angular and Concept Wave. So whenever I used to go for interviews, like Concept Wave is used like only in little companies, only in few telecom companies, not every telecom
Mhm.
companies. So the opportunities for Concept Wave was very limited. And with Angular JS, because I'm not a core UI developer, like front end developer, right? So
Mhm.
they used to ask me all this JavaScript and everything. So
Mhm.
then that was also an issue. And then because I had gap of 2.5 years
Mhm.
working on Java, so then people were asking, to go back to Angular. When I went to Angular, they were telling me try in Java. So that was an issue.
No, no, no. That's okay. I mean, definitely sometimes you will not like immediately get an offer or something. That's okay. That's fine. And you can stick to. I mean, from what I understand, it won't be very different, right? Like Java and Angular as such. Uh, but anyways, try as I said, try and explore more of the Python angle of it because it's like a one that kind of it's equivalent to a Java, I would say, right? It covers
Right,
so many
right.
different things. So, try taking it up and getting yourself more comfortable on that would be my
Mhm.
suggestion. Yeah.
And for the interview perspective, is it necessary that we have to know the mathematics behind the algorithm, like the statistical models, like logistic regression and linear regression? All these have some mathematics behind, just creating this, what you say, this optimizers and then regularization formulas. And all. So, is it necessary for me to learn all this mathematics and formulas and everything, or just knowing the concept is enough?
The concept is important,
Mhm.
not necessarily to the depth of everything, but yes, of course, like things, for example, nobody's going to ask, how do you calculate this? How do you calculate that? That wouldn't be a question for sure. But one thing that they will definitely be interested to know is, like, for example, what does that concept mean? How do you interpret it? Like, let's say logistic regression itself, right? I'm not going to be probably very concerned about how do you, get the coefficients, or how do you determine the coefficients and all of those things. But at least I'll be more interested to know, let's say, given a coefficient, how do you generate the odds? How do you interpret the coefficients? All those kind of things. So people will be more interested in the interpretation than the calculation of the maths and stats part. So make sure you're comfortable to explain the concept, explain the interpretation of those key items or elements. That would be
Mhm.
a very important factor that I'll look at.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And any advanced deep learning or machine
Mhm.
learning topics you would like to suggest me to work on?
I think everything. I mean, machine learning, everything for sure. Deep learning, at least, if you do have the time, you're comfortable with the normal. There are a lot of generative models like generative adversarial networks, DC GANs, and so many other things. New models that have actually come in. Try and look at that. That could be a good factor. Generative models. You can just search on that. Transfer learning is another factor. Maybe you can look at that also. So these two are new things that are quite hot. People are talking about it quite frequently
Mhm.
in a lot of forums, a lot of organizations.
Mhm.
So try to take up that as an opportunity to explore in those places.
Okay. How about this Bert and Roberta?
Yeah, those things, mostly transfer learning, they come under.
Mhm.
So yes, transfer learning, of course, definitely very important.
Mhm. Mhm. Okay.
Right.
Yeah,
Good.
that's it.
Nice to hear that, Smita.
Yeah.
And all the very best in your career. I hope you get your opportunity to get back to work quickly. And feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Happy to answer anytime.
Mhm. Yeah, sure. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Smita. Take care. Bye. Priya, after Shubham, how many more people are there?
So we have Shubham, and then it's Angira.
Uh-huh.
And Angira will join at 6:15.
Uh-huh.
So I guess we'll be done by 6:30. More
That's
two
okay.
people.
That's
Yeah.
cool. No, today is actually Karwa Chauth, right? So I was just telling my wife, like, she
Okay.
was asking me
Right.
when it will be done, so that accordingly.
Yeah. So I told you, right, that 6:30 probably
Uh,
we should be done.
in fact, when we were discussing, I didn't know it was Karwa Chauth today. Actually, I later
Okay.
realized that.
Okay. Shubham is here.
Yep. Hi, Shubham. How are you? Can you hear us?
Hello, sir. Hello.
Hello. How are you?
Fine, sir. Fine, fine, fine. What's
Good.
about you?
Good. I'm doing well, thank you. Thanks for asking, Shubham. Yes, Shubham, maybe we'll begin with a quick, brief introduction about yourself. A minute or two about.
As you know, my name is Shubham Soni, and I'm basically from Chhattisgarh.
Uh-huh.
I have done my graduation from Bhopal in computer science engineering.
Mhm.
Currently, I'm like a fresher. I have done my graduation in 2020,
Mhm.
so I'm not working yet.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, good. Nice to hear that. And how can I help you? What questions? What guidance can I
Uh,
give?
the major problem I have when we started this program, everything is all clear. Like
Mhm.
everything I studied, I remember, and
Mhm.
after that, 1 or 2 months or 3 months, like starting at the statistics, then
Mhm.
Python, and then machine learning also done.
Mhm.
After that deep learning is started, I all things like a mess for me.
Okay.
I can't remember anything. I also मतलब मुझे याद रहता था कुछ
Uh,
चीजें बहुत सारी, बट जब
uh-huh.
बहुत आगे अपन पढ़ते गए
Uh-huh.
तो ऐसा लगने लगा कि पूरी चीजें गायब सी होने लगी, मतलब उसको रिवाइज भी कर लूं मैं फिर भी मेरे को याद नहीं रहता था, बहुत सारी चीजें ऐसे थी। और अभी ऐसा है कि मैं रिवाइज कर रहा हूँ स्टार्टिंग से,
Mhm.
तो प्रॉब्लम आ रही है मेरे को कि मेरे को कुछ याद नहीं रह पा रहा है।
ठीक
और
है।
बहुत सारी जो टॉपिक्स हैं वो आपस में रिलेट हो रही है, मतलब मैं
हाँ, हाँ,
अब
पक्का।
उस चीज को रिलेट नहीं कर पा रहा हूँ कि मैं मशीन लर्निंग से पढ़ूँ या डीप लर्निंग से पढ़ूँ, क्योंकि अलग अलग सोर्स में अलग अलग डेफिनेशन, अलग अलग चीजें, तो एवरीथिंग लाइक अ मैस फॉर मी।
आई कैन अंडरस्टैंड। नहीं,
या
समझ में आ रहा है शुभम। मैं क्या बोलूंगा ना, मतलब आप एक बार पूरी तरह से चेक कर लीजिए, मतलब स्टैटिस्टिक्स से शुरू करके पूरा डीप लर्निंग तक, जो भी
जी जी।
कोर्स के स्टार्टिंग से एक बार
ये
रिवीजन। रिवीजन मतलब मैं बोलूंगा कॉन्सेप्ट ही नहीं, बट प्रैक्टिकली ऑल्सो एक बार करके देख लो, वो एक
ये
अच्छा इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है। तो मतलब अभी अभी स्टेटिस्टिक्स कर रहे हो, तो स्टेटिस्टिक्स के लिए भी टेक अप डेटा लाइक कैगल से ले लेना या एनालिटिक्स विद ऐसे ले लेना, वो सब थोड़ा प्रैक्टिस कर लेना। जैसे ही हैंड्स ऑन प्रैक्टिस आएगा ना, you will get the concepts much better. And especially with deep learning, I completely agree. When I have heard my students say that, the big challenge that they face is उनको मतलब till machine learning तो सब straight forward लगता है कि ठीक है,
या
समझ में
डीप
आता है, but deep learning आता है तो
या
मतलब
हाँ
पूरा दुनिया ही बदल जाता है, क्या है
हाँ, ऐसा
किधर है
लगा
समझ
कि
में नहीं
पता
आता है।
नहीं क्या ही हो गया सामने। डीप लर्निंग मशीन लर्निंग तो हाँ, ये प्रोग्रामिंग में इवन कोड कोड में भी बन रहा था, लेकिन जब डीप लर्निंग की कोडिंग में आया तो फिर वो तो पूरा सॉफ्टवेयर ही चेंज हो गया, कोलैब पे कर रहे तो ऐसा क्या बताऊँ।
Yes.
मैं पूरा दिन भर लेके बैठे रहता था लैपटॉप की, ये नहीं बन रहा, ये नहीं बन रहा, क्या कर रहा है, ये कैसे हो रहा है, क्या हो रहा है। इवन मैं सर से भी पूछता था, जो अपने ट्यूटर है अरुण नहीं, सर से उनसे भी पूछता था।
हम्म,
तो हाँ, कुछ चीजें क्लियर हुई, बहुत सारी चीजें, लेकिन फिर ये पार्ट है ना कि कुछ चीजें हो रही है, बहुत सारी चीजें नहीं हो रही, ये भी
सही
रहता
बात
है
है।
मेरे साथ।
नहीं, दैट्स व्हाट आई एम सेइंग ना, मतलब वो तो पक्का है कि यू नो ऑफ कोर्स इट रिक्वायर्स अ लिटिल बिट पेशेंस कि
हम्म।
ओवरनाइट भी नहीं होगा, मतलब लर्निंग
ना
इतना
ना, ये
जल्दी नहीं
ये
होगा,
ये
तो थोड़ा टाइम
लाइक
लगता है।
इम्पॉसिबल ओवरनाइट में हम खुल लें, कुछ ऐसा नहीं
वही
होता है ये ऐसा कोर्स नहीं है, मेरे को लगता है कि ओवरनाइट हो जाए, इंजीनियरिंग नहीं है ये।
पक्का, वही उसके लिए मैं बोल रहा हूँ, मतलब
या
प्रैक्टिस करो, यू विल फील मोर कंफर्टेबल, आई एम श्योर यू
या
विल बी लाइक इट विल बी इजियर
या
फॉर यू टू लाइक
एब्सोल्युटली।
remember the concepts. I think only way is by practicing. I think there is no other alternative to
तो
get yourself
वन वन
comfortable with the
वन
concept.
मोर थिंग कि अपन इंटरव्यू के लिए कैसे करें, मतलब इंटरव्यूअर क्या पूछेगा, कैसे पूछेगा, सो इसमें थोड़ा
So
वो लग रहा है, क्योंकि मैं फ्रेशर हूँ, मैं नो हैव एनी एक्सपीरियंस और दिस इंडस्ट्री, सो मेरा वही है कि क्या कैसे होगा।
So interviews तो हमेशा technically होंगे, मतलब at least for data science related opportunities technically both the Python programming aspect and then the data science techniques पे भी पूछा जाता है. मैं क्या बोलूंगा इसमें शुभम, focus more on the mocks because जो भी mocks conduct करते हैं मतलब वो तो इंडस्ट्री से आते हैं तो उनको अच्छा खासा अंडरस्टैंडिंग होता है कि कैसे क्वेश्चंस आते हैं, जबकि मतलब टेक्निकली जो क्वेश्चंस है वो कैसे होते हैं या टेक्निक्स के हिसाब से जो पूछते हैं वो क्या होता है, प्रोग्रामिंग में क्या पूछा जाता है, कैसे एग्जाम्पल्स पूछे जाते हैं, वो सब. तो मॉक्स एक बेंचमार्क रख के मतलब आइडेंटिफाई कर लेना जैसे क्वेश्चंस आते हैं और उसमें भी प्रैक्टिस कर लेना. मतलब एक चीज जो है ना, आप मोर हैंड्स ऑन प्रैक्टिस करोगे, मोर डेटा सेट्स, मोर प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट्स जैसे जैसे आप लेते रहोगे, यू विल फील दैट कंफर्ट and automatically even interviews you will ace through. That will also become very easy for you. So that's where I would suggest practice, but take some time out, understand from the mocks. मतलब mocks का feedback देख लेना एक एक बार क्या चल रहा है, क्या feedback दिया है ट्रेनर ने, तो उसको भी use कर लेना for like preparing for the next mocks in that case.
Okay. Sir, I have one more question.
Yeah.
Like, अभी तो दिमाग में कुछ नहीं आ रहा क्योंकि टोटली ब्लैंक है.
एक
कुछ
सेकंड ना,
बस
just
major.
one second ना, शुभम, just a minute,
Okay,
sorry.
okay, okay, sir.
Yeah, शुभम बोलो. हाँ, sorry, I got caught up.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have one more question. Like, अभी तो मैंने जितना मतलब मुझे पूछना था मैंने मेरा जो मेजर कंसर्न था वो बता दिया, लेकिन आफ्टर दैट यदि कोई इशू आता है तो मैं किससे कांटेक्ट करूँ, आपका कुछ नंबर?
हाँ, sure. If you have any questions, no issues, Shubham. Reach out to either Monica or Priya
मोनिका
also.
मैम.
हाँ,
ओके.
Monica, yeah. Monica or Priya also. Either of them should be able to help out. I mean, कोई भी questions रहेगा तो they'll be able to guide and tell whatever you have basically. So don't
ओके.
worry about that. Yeah.
ओके.
ठीक है.
ओके सर, थैंक यू सो मच.
Thank you so much. Nice talking to you, Shubham. All the very best.
थैंक यू सर. कैन आई लीव?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely,
Yeah.
Shubham. No problem. Yeah.
थैंक यू सर. थैंक यू मैम.
Thank you.
थैंक यू.
Yeah, most welcome.
Angira, just give me 1 minute. I'll just be right back. Just a minute, okay? I'll just be back. Hi, Angita. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
How are you?
Yeah,
Am I
I'm fine.
pronouncing your name correctly, Angita?
Yeah, you're pronouncing correctly.
Okay, good, good.
Yeah.
Good. Nice to hear, Angita. And maybe we can begin with a quick background about yourself, your education experience.
Yeah. I have done my MTech in the year 2015,
Mhm.
and after that, I had worked in a telecom company for around 2 years. And later, I was working in a different domain, but actually, I want to switch to data science and AI. I'm interested in that domain, so I took this course so that I can go forward in the same domain. My
Okay.
interested domain. Yeah.
So total experience is around 5 years?
Yeah, somewhere around.
Okay, all right. Nice
Yeah.
to hear that. Good. And how can I help you today, Angita? What questions you have? How can I guide you?
Yeah, like where should we focus more for deep learning and AI mainly?
Well, so a lot of it would be on now, like, I mean, images, text, those kind of data are quite a lot of problem statements. But I think in the future, if you look at it like 5 years down the line, I think a lot of interest is coming in terms of even videos, right? How to
Okay.
do video analysis and all those kind of things. So I
Okay.
think if you're comfortable with already images, text, I mean, if you can do a good analysis on that, I would suggest, if you're looking at deep learning 5 years down the line, then also try and see videos, audio, and all of those things as well.
Okay. Yeah. Because presently only like it's not video is not so much in
Not in
picture.
so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So like means where should we do like what are the means practicing like for Kaggle and all that are enough to practice for deep learning or
Yes, actually, because unfortunately, that's the only place where you get access to real data, right? I mean, like
yes.
good data to work with, actually. So
Uh-huh.
from that aspect, when I see Angira, like that's the place. Kaggle is good. Also,
Yeah.
look for other hackathons. Like I keep forgetting this website name. There's a nice one, Tech Gig. I think I'm not sure if that's the one. But yeah,
Take
yeah,
yeah.
those also have like good hackathons that keep coming in on a regular basis. Take that also as an opportunity to like learn a couple of these videos or audio related ones like that are
Okay.
new.
Okay, fine. Like okay, fine. I am doing, but if I stuck somewhere, you will be there, right? Like when I'm practicing
Yeah,
also.
yeah, of course you can reach out to us. But
Yeah.
if you're doing it from, I mean, I'm just giving as an advice, but we are, of course, anybody in any of the trainers in Imarticus can help. But
Yeah.
the thing is also look for like, when you're doing these problem statements, of course, the objective is not to like become like, the top performer or 100% accuracy and all those things. That is
Yes.
something, yes, we aim for. But
Uh-huh.
if you go through the codes also, right, in each of these problem statements, you'll be able to actually see how other people have approached it. In fact, that's the best way to learn. I was suggesting to a couple of people earlier also.
Okay.
Best way to learn is always to get access to those information as well and
Okay.
see how other people have approached. So then you will be able to refine your approach also better in that way.
Yes. Like first of all, I should do myself once and then try to see what other has also done. Like how I
Yes,
can improvise myself. Yeah. Okay.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Like how much percentage should I concentrate on machine learning?
Machine learning, I mean, I would say, see, the current rate is like a lot of hiring for machine learning because a lot of use cases and problem statements related to that. Deep
Okay.
learning does happen. A lot of niche organizations are focusing on it.
Uh-huh.
And if you're looking at very niche organizations, then of course, try and get yourself very comfortable with deep learning. But machine learning, I would say to have a mastery level, if not an expert, definitely as a, given a problem statement, having the capability to solve it, but refine it as you go through it, different experience or problem statements or work, get yourself more as an expert than just a mastery level knowledge.
Okay. Means both the domain should be concentrated, like machine
Absolutely.
learning as well as deep learning. Like
Yeah.
it's not like deep learning is taking over machine learning. It's not like that, right?
I think both structured and unstructured data both will be used extensively. So I would suggest
Right.
focus on both.
Right. That was my concern. Like if machine learning is not going to stay, then what will happen and all that.
No, no.
And nowadays, this automation is also coming, right, in machine learning.
Exactly. Yes. Yes.
I've seen somewhere, I'm not sure because I've not gone through anywhere, but I've seen somewhere that like in machine learning also automation is coming slowly
Of
and
course.
steadily.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Auto ML is coming. There's a
Auto
bit of
ML,
auto
right,
ML.
right,
Yeah.
right, auto ML.
But see, even though auto ML does come in eventually for the usage of any analysis and all, you need a data scientist to find out the right technique eventually. So all that will
Okay.
come, but I feel that eventually, even if all these things are there, you will need data scientists to choose the right
Yes,
technique.
yes. Right. Automation will just give a pathway like you should do
Exactly.
this. Yeah. But the main thing should we only have to do it. Yes. Yeah, I don't know this much more question. Like can you suggest something from your side?
Mainly, I think the suggestions that I was giving to mainly your batch, that is, try and take up a lot of hackathons, practice a lot of hackathons on Kaggle analytics with you, all those things. And as I mentioned, like I think I mentioned in the call as well once, that try to take all these codes that you guys do, capstone, hackathons, everything that you do, put it in GitHub, put your
Yeah.
GitHub profile also on your resume, very important. So
Okay.
try and do that. That will be
Uh-huh.
like very, very important to, further your resume, get
Okay.
more opportunities and everything. That's all I would suggest. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I go through some of the Kaggle codes, but hackathon I'm not I'm not gone through so much.
Sure, no problem. Try doing that now that you have a break,
Yes.
maybe in between. Do that.
Yes. Yeah, sure.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Any
Yes.
suggestion from any other suggestions? Like
Other
from
than
my
that, nothing. Just that, I mean, these two things are the most important ones if you're looking at a career in data science. I think
yeah.
to do that, I think you should have enough opportunities. That's all.
Okay. Yeah, fine.
Cool. Good.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes. Thanks so much, Angira. Nice
Yeah.
talking to you. Do reach out if you
Same
have
here.
any questions.
Yeah,
Take care.
no, not. But I will just, if I have any problem, I will try to contact you guys. Like
Sure.
if I stuck somewhere in doing some coding or something.
Sure. Absolutely. Anytime.
Yeah,
No problem.
yeah. Fine, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Anyone else joining in? Or
No, I guess Angira was last.
Angira was last. Okay. Cool. Then I think
Angira, you can leave.
I can leave, right? Okay, fine. Ma'am.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Bye. Welcome.
Bye. Yeah, bye.
Priya, I'll share this thing with you.
Yeah,
The
please
form I have with me.
share with me. All
Yeah.
right, cool. No worries. You can enjoy your match and Karwa Chauth. I hope you have got some gift for her.
What to do? I mean, I didn't go out at all today, so I think the easiest is money. That's all.
Busy day. Okay.
There were sessions in the morning, so that's why I kind of got a little busy.
All right. Okay. No worries.
Cool.
Thank you so
Take
much.
care. Yep, no
Yeah.
problem. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Most welcome.